Hey, how's it going everyone? It is Drago, and we're back with another chapter of Deadrock, chapter 27, Elfed. And the cover page for this chapter has Yakuto on it, which is kind of symbolic. Obviously, he's been dead, and this is very much looking like almost afterlife-y, which is obviously very fitting based on the content of this chapter. The chapter picks up pretty much exactly where the last chapter left off, with Yakuto in a coffin being dragged somewhere, and his coffin eventually gets dumped with a metric ton of other coffins. And once he's actually with all those other coffins, he starts to actually wake up, which I was like, what? Is he like revived now? Like, is he not actually dead? Which, just as he's kind of wondering where the heck he is, he runs into Saru, and they both kind of make the realization that they both are dead and they're both in the Underworld. Those two aren't the only ones that are waking up from being dead, and they get joined by Setsune as well. And that also begs the question, they weren't the only people that died in this tournament. There was actually like Luzin and some other students. Like, where the heck are they? They're not finding them immediately right now. And also just kind of wondering what the heck's going on here in the Underworld, and like, what are they supposed to do? And kind of right as that's happening, they get a voice in the sky like talking to them, which eventually just out of all the coffins appears this absolutely gigantic creature. And it turns out this person is named Lip, and he is the god of the Underworld. And he very much does not like the god from the demon world. He very much has a vendetta against him, not even thinking that he's a god at all, which is where you get him like kind of explaining that there's basically gods for everything in this world, which kind of self-explanatory. It seems like a lot of these stories that have gods and stuff have multiple gods of like god of water, god of the underworld, kind of stuff like that. Very much almost reminds me in a way of like Greek mythology. And since this god is named Lip, he also reveals the true name of God himself, and that is literally the name of this chapter. Apparently his name is Elfed, which apparently he created the heavenly world, the demon world, and the human world, which is like, dang bro, you created a lot. And the whole reason he's even telling them all of this is because he very much suspects that they don't like God, and they have a vendetta against him, and he would like to join in on that. And kind of interesting once again, because he's like, he used to be a good guy, but now he all of a sudden wants to destroy the Underworld, which very much goes with Yakuto, because he killed his parents. He used to be nice, and then he just suddenly turned. So something's going on still, which is where Lip proposes his plan to all of them, to where he can't directly attack from the Underworld, but he can reincarnate them into the human world, and from the human world there is a portal there to where they can eventually pass back into the demon world and potentially kill a god. Which just says he's explaining all the complications and just the process of being reincarnated, and telling them all the steps they gotta do, which is literally when the Underworld itself starts getting attacked. And it turns out that it is God showing up, and he really does not want these people being reincarnated, and he's really wanting them to stay dead, which very much does have me believe that he is definitely afraid of like Yakuto coming back. Like, his power is probably so special to where he just can't have him be alive. He just desperately wants him dead, because I don't think Saru or Setsune are very high level threats to him. But Lip decides to protect everyone, says, hey, go reincarnate right now, I'll protect you from him. You're not powerful enough to defeat God as you are right now. You need to reincarnate right now and get more powerful to take him on. I think this is also setting up that they can't reincarnate anymore after this, because he's like, what if we die? You know, like, what's going to happen to the Underworld now that God's attacking you? Like, what's going to happen? Basically, all the souls are going to have nowhere to go, and no one can reincarnate. So it's basically just saying, if you die, you're permadead now. And as they're going to go to the portal to reincarnate, the ground beneath Yakuto like falls, and he's like falling into a chasm, and someone decides to save him, and it turns out that it's Hein, who has long since been dead, and makes sense that he's actually here, so I guess he'll probably reincarnate as well. And that is literally the final page of this chapter. Very cool to see him come back because he died so dang fast. With that is the end of this chapter, so my thoughts. I guess cool to know that there's other gods and they all have different names and they're all like responsible for different things and creating different things. I think that's a cool bit of lore. I guess also to know about the Underworld and just, I guess, the process of them coming back to life. Yeah, very much a chapter just to set up how we're going to get Yakuto potentially back into the story. Is he going to look the same? Is he going to have the same powers? Who knows? Very much a setup and dialogue heavy chapter, but I think it actually was necessary for this story. So what are your guys' thoughts on the chapter? Leave it in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and this is Drago, signing out.